I redefined myself. First I had to find it. I couldn't find a friend. Had to rely on my wits. I be with Mike and man. Nowadays I be with Sage with six. Chris, you dig? I'm in LA. Please come and claim it, kid. I cannot play with them. Let's try a different approach.
Earl Sweatshirt is an LA-based rapper. His real name I can't pronounce, so I'm not going to even try. He started working under the name Sly Tendencies. He released a mixtape at the age of 16. Another rapper called Tyler the Creator, who I've heard of, got him to change his name to Earl Sweatshirt, which is just an unusual name for a rapper, so it's instantly memorable, so that's clever. And he joined Tyler's rap group called Odd Future. However, shortly after that, his mother stepped in and refused to let any of the work that he'd done be released and sent him to a therapeutic retreat school for at-risk boys in Samoa. He returned about a year and a half later, and he started to work again with Odd Future, and he started doing his solo work. His first solo album was released in 2013, and he has released 3 more since then.
Hi, my name's Dan, and this is a review of the album Thumb Rat Songs by Earl Sweatshirt, which was his 3rd album. It was released in 2018, and it's my first time listening to it. But it's my 3rd review of an Earl Sweatshirt album. So previously reviewed 2 of his, which were the 2 albums that came before this in terms of releases. And it's fair to say for those that I was not a fan. And I think it's fair to say I'm still not. Acclaimed Music, who created the list that I am reviewing through, have listed this as being experimental hip-hop, abstract hip-hop. Wikipedia just kind of hedges its bets more and claims that it's hip-hop. I think it's certainly something in the hip-hop area, but it's certainly something outside the norm of hip-hop. So firstly, there's a couple of good things about this album that I want to highlight. So the first is that I can find sections of 20 plus seconds without language that I feel I need to bleep. And this is, when it comes to rap albums, this is something that I always am thankful for, if that is the case. There are rap albums where I can't. And the other one is that it's short, under 24 minutes. So those are both kind of backhanded compliments. Actually, all of the tracks, bar 2, are under 10 minutes in length. They're pretty short. So what I usually do with rap albums is that I usually talk about the musical backing and then the rap flow and then the lyrics. So I'll pretty much do that. So the musical backing here is samples of old stuff, predominantly jazz, I believe, vocal jazz often, usually mangled though. So slowed down, edited, fragmented in ways so that the rhythm doesn't flow properly. I think at times it might be multi-layered with more than one thing going on at once. I'm not sure. Sometimes I think that there's drum pattern stuff going on top as well. If there is, it sounds like those are also sampled as a whole, as a loop, rather than put together on a drum machine. But it's hard to tell. Sometimes it seems to just use the rhythm that's natural in the bits of music that have been sampled. Almost entirely, this is done in such a way that it pulls away from anything that could be thought of a groove. So it's kind of deliberately non-rhythmic or nonsensical in terms of the rhythmic. So which is an interesting idea in principle, but for my ears is not pleasant. And potentially it could be really annoying, but it's one of those situations where I think the shortness of the track probably makes it a little bit easier to take. It's when it does these things, and if it kept doing them for the same sample long enough, I think I could get really irritated. flow in terms of, right, so I always feel like when I talk about rap flow, I always feel the need to say, please bear in mind, I am by no means a big rap fan. I am by no means an expert on rap and flow. I can only, it's a bit like the old thing, art, I don't know art, but I know what I like. Well, I think that's the case with flow. I don't really understand the art of flow, but I think I can say there are times when I like it and times that I don't. Um, for this, I would describe the flow as being mostly quite unrhythmical. I can't tell. I was trying to listen and work out if there's meant to be any synchronization between the vocals and what rhythm there is in the vocals and the music, which is usually what you expect from rap. And I think maybe there's a bit. It's a lot looser than expectations. He sounds quite slurry at times, like he's struggling to stay awake. There's a general feeling of melancholy here. So the content apparently has been praised for its emotional vulnerability. I'm prepared to believe that. I didn't pick up a lot of what he's actually talking about. But if that is the case, then that is, so this is number 3 thing that I think is something to be commended potentially in the album. Because that is a good thing in rap. I think a lot more rap should have a lot less bombast and a lot more self-reflection, potentially. Well, on the grounds that sometimes I have heard rap with self-reflection, and I think it is usually better as a result. Unlike several albums I've reviewed, I didn't find the content was foul and off-putting. So that's number 4. I actually got 4 things here as positives for this album. So all of them are kind of maybe negatives in disguise, but yeah, it was another thing that's a positive thing I can say. Is it positive enough though? And I think the answer is no. I'm sorry. I didn't find it a fun listening experience. It is the sort of thing that it was just a bit too much in its kind of the way the musical backing is constructed and the way that that's so off kilter. And I think I would say it's unusual for me to say with a rap album that that's the main problem that I've got with it. Mostly it's the content that seems to be a problem. So it's different. It is, I would say, a genuinely experimental approach to rap. But I'd say a smoked salmon and chocolate tart would be genuinely experimental. It doesn't necessarily mean it's something you want. And on this occasion, it's not something that I really want, I'm afraid. So I'm not a fan. And obviously, this is just my opinion, what I think of this album. As always, of course, in a review, that's going to be what you get. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this album, what your feelings are on the way that it's put together. Anything else you're going to say about Earl Sweatshirt, my attitude to rap in general. You might think that I'm very close-minded about rap. I'm trying not to be, but it's a journey. So here we are. But please do talk to me about what you think by leaving me a comment. And that's it from me for now.
Yep, that's right. I'm running things.
Hold me down, hold me up, hold me close, cause when times are tough, show they true colors, don't know who to trust. Mind working like the water when it rush, growing from my father, bitter to his touch. Now I'm solely